deeply rooted as you stretch the palms up. And then as you exhale, just press over to the left. So grounding the hips, pressing up, leaning to the left. See if you can exhale, draw in below the navel. And then inhale, rise back to center. And exhale, pressing over to the right. Just grounding the hips, pressing up, leaning to the other side. Let's inhale, rise all the way back up. And then we're just going to bow forward over the legs as you exhale. Bowing forward, breathing here. Again, taking a moment to touch intention. Right? What really brings you back to the mat again and again, back to the breath, the body, the present moment. Take your next exhale, just softening a little bit, bowing deeply. It's a really reverent gesture. And then as you inhale, rise all the way back up, lift the arms. And just bring your arms to your sides as you exhale. Let's roll down onto our backs. So just roll down and walk your feet in towards your sitting bones. Walk your feet in towards your sitting bones comfortably close. Let's just come into constructive rest, feet wide, knees together, and just pause for a moment. I really like to place right hand on belly, left hand on heart. And just take a breath or two, just kind of receiving the nourishment of the earth rising up to meet you, softening, settling, really a gesture of listening inside. What matters to me in this moment? Let's take another full exhale. And then we're going to stretch the legs out onto the floor in front of you. Stretch the legs out. Hug the legs together. Hug the legs together. Take an exhalation. Draw in below navel. Interlace the fingers. Press the palms overhead. Arms reaching away from the legs. So you're drawing into the midline and then lengthening. Take another inhale. And then exhale. Pull the right knee in. So clasping hands or placing hands on the top of the right shin. Inhale, and then exhale, draw in below the navel, deepen and lengthen that right hip crease, and lift that right sitting bone up towards that right heel as you draw the knee towards the armpit. So there's kind of a synergy of actions there. Just attuning yourself to the subtleties, listening deeply. Take another exhale. And then inhale, stretch the right leg out, reach the arms overhead, lengthening. And other side exhale, so just drawing left knee in. Take your time, squeezing knee to armpit, feeling, if you can, that subtlety as you really just abide in the present moment, that deepening of the hip crease, that drawing in below the navel, that lifting of the sitting bone to the heel. Take another exhale. Inhale, reach the left leg out, arms reach away from the legs. And then let's bring both knees in as you exhale. This time, happy baby. So knees come towards the armpits, maybe soles of the feet up, maybe grabbing the outer edges of the feet. So it's the same action we did with one leg at a time, but with both legs. So if you can feel or imagine that deepening of the crease at the top of the thigh, drawing in below navel, lifting sitting bones up, knitting them together. Take another exhale, drawing down deeply. And then inhale, reach the legs out, reach the arms away from the legs. And then exhale, bring arms to your sides, walk your feet in towards your sitting bones. We're going to do a few rounds of bridge pose, just engaging the backs of the legs, inhaling, lifting the hips up. Exhale, staying here, breathing, feeling the pits of the knees, moving forward, the hips lifting. Take another full inhale. And then lower the hips down, exhaling. Two more. Inhale, lift right back up. And you just lift any amount, right? Sense the intention, really listen for a moment, and then let that guide how you move through your practice. Take another inhale. Exhale, lowering down. So that touching intention and motivation is really a practice of listening and responding. Let's rise one more time, inhaling, lifting up. Use the backs of your legs. See if you can get a little bit sweeter across the front. Take another breath, full breath, inhale. and then lowering all the way down, exhaling. Good, let's reach the arms overhead, inhale, and then pull the knees in, exhale. So the knees are coming towards the armpits. Inhale here, and then exhale, lift and reach in between your legs. So it's kind of like you're doing Bakasana, but you're lying on your back. So my arms are in between my legs. I'm reaching towards the wall in front of me, drawing in below navel, pulling knees towards my shoulders. Take another full breath, squeezing into a tight ball here as you exhale. And then inhale, lengthen and open, arms and legs reach away. 2 more times, exhale, pull the knees in. Knees come wide, feet together, reaching through the legs. Stay here and breathe, drawing down below navel, broadening back. And then inhale, reach and lengthen. And again, exhale, pulling the knees in, feet together, knees wide, reaching between the legs with the arms. Take a full breath, curling the head and shoulders up. One more exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, lengthen out, just so we can get the feeling of it. Exhale, pulling in, knees come wide, feet together, reach through the legs. So you're kind of curling into a tight ball as if you're doing the arm balance Bakasana. Take another exhale. Inhale, lengthen, reach the arms and legs away from each other. And then exhale, lift up into Navasana. So we're lifting right into Navasana. Good. Hugging the legs in, broadening the chest. Inhale. Exhale, roll down onto the sacrum, get low. Ardha Navasana, hover. Inhale, lift back up to Navasana. Stay here, exhale, another inhale. This is challenging, it's okay. Exhale, rolling back, get low. It's okay to rest for a moment. Inhale, lift back up to Navasana. Stay here, exhale, another inhale. One more time, roll onto your back, hover. Take a full breath, exhaling. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold your legs, roll forward, and step into downward facing dog for a moment. Just for a moment, downward facing dog, just lengthening arms, legs, and spine. Take an inhale here, and then touch your knees down as you exhale. So we're gonna do some cat-cow. From here, inhaling, arching the back, looking up. You can feel that heat in the belly. Exhale, curling, scooping the belly, rounding the back, bowing the head. Inhaling, arching the back, looking up, breathing in. Exhaling, curling, rounding, bowing the head. Let's do that again. Inhaling, arching the back, looking up. Exhaling, curling, bowing, rounding. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale, curling, scooping the belly, pressing with the hands, broadening the back, bowing the head. Inhale to neutral. Exhale, pause. Let's take the right leg, stretch it back into this one-legged tabletop position. So the right leg is reaching back. As I've said many times, use your hamstring, press up, use your inner thigh to lift up, wrap the outer hip down. Take an inhale, get longer from the armpits to the hip creases. And then exhale, squeeze the right knee to the outside of the right shoulder, squeezing it in. Inhale, reach it straight back again. Exhale, pull it to your nose. So curling in, bowing head to knee. Again, inhale, reaching back. Let's do the right side, right knee to right shoulder. Exhale, squeezing. Inhale, reaching back behind you again. Exhale, pulling knee to nose, rounding, bowing head to knee. Inhale, reaching back again. Exhale to the right shoulder again. So one more round, same thing. Inhale, reach straight back. Exhale, curling, press with the hands, bow the head to the knee. Good. Inhale, reach back. And then exhale, bring the right knee down to meet the left knee. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So just come back to your breath for a moment. Breathing with sound, breathing through the nose. As you inhale, let's lift and reach the left leg. So the subtle engagements that I try to mention, really what that is just an invitation to listen a little more deeply, to feel into the felt sense of the body a little more deeply. Take an inhale here, lengthening. Exhale, pull the left knee to the left shoulder, squeezing the side body. Inhale, reaching straight back. Exhale, curling knee to nose, pressing hands, bowing head to knee. Inhale, reaching back again. Exhale, pull knee to shoulder, out to the outside, squeezing the side body. Inhale, reach it back again. Exhale, pulling knee to nose, bowing head to knee. Again, one last time. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, pull knee to shoulder. Inhale, reach back again. Exhale, pull knee to nose, curling in, bowing head to knee. Inhale, reaching back, and tabletop. Exhale. Let's take a full breath in, full breath out. If child's pose would feel good, you might sit back just for a breath or two in child's pose, just noticing where you are, the inside and the outside, sensing what matters to you in this moment, or at least expressing interest, asking the question. As you find your next inhale, let's rise on to hands and knees, and then forearms to the floor, step to forearm plank. So I just really like to include these to kind of start to build in some more core connection before we start to flow more. So grounding into the elbows, lifting the inner thighs, broadening the collarbones. Take another full breath, exhaling. We're gonna roll into forearm side plank on the right side as you inhale. I like to swing my forearm at an angle, maybe lift the left arm overhead if you wish, or use it for support. Take another full breath, inhaling, and then exhale, roll back to forearm plank. Let's go to the other side, forearm side plank on the left side. Opening up, maybe reach the right arm overhead, come back to the breath. Subtle quality of the breath. Take another inhale. Exhale, come back to forearm plank. Another inhale in forearm plank, and then hips lower down. Exhale, untuck the toes. Sphinx pose as you breathe in, broadening the chest. You're welcome to draw in below the navel, maybe lift the elbows up and come up a little higher. Take another breath, breathing in, and then wherever you are, lower all the way down, breathing out, maybe head to the side. Pause, just receive the nourishment of your body connecting to the earth. Just letting that support this journey of turning inward and listening, contacting the heart, what matters to you. From here, we're gonna rise back into forearm plank. We'll do all those things one more time. So lifting back up, breathing in forearm plank. It's okay to touch one or both knees down. If you need more support, you might imagine pushing your elbows and toes away from each other. Take another full exhale here. And then right side, forearm side plank, roll to the right. Lift the left hand to hip, or maybe reach it overhead. Take a full breath, lengthening. One more exhale. Another inhale, and then back to forearm plank, exhaling. Inhaling to the left side, rolling over, lifting up, right? Grounding into the earth with the left elbow. Feel that dense, grounded quality inside the body as you breathe. Take another inhale. Exhale, back to forearm plank. Inhale, forearm plank. Exhale, hips down. Untuck the toes, draw in below the navel, broaden the collarbone, sphinx pose. Maybe you lift up. Maybe you lift up for cobra. Take another breath, inhaling. Exhaling, surrendering, dropping all the way down. Just pause and breath. And then we'll rise from our belly onto our hands and knees or into high plank. And then downward facing dog, exhaling, or maybe child's pose. So you might have a little interlude in child's pose. Take a full breath, inhale, full breath, exhale. See if you can let the head be heavy. You might be pedaling the feet or keeping the knees bent, but see if you can get some length in the spine, heaviness in the head, lightness in the belly. Come back to the breath, if possible, breathing with sound, sensation, movement. Let's take another full exhalation. So we're going to roll out to plank on the inhale and press back to down dog on the exhale. And I just want to say, when we do that, really emphasizing the articulation of the spine. So as you inhale, rolling out over your hands, really broadening your whole back as you come all the way up. And then squatting back, lifting up. It's kind of like cat-cow. So inhaling, rolling, really rounding the back and kind of unfurling. And then exhale, squatting back, lifting up. One more time, inhale, rolling out. Exhale, squatting back. Good, let's bring the hips up, the head down, downward facing dog. 2 more breaths, just grounding, arriving, listening. Let's take another exhale. Feet to the hands, hugging the legs in, lengthening, looking up, inhaling. Exhale, bow all the way down over the legs. Head comes all the way in. Let's rise all the way up, lift the arms and look up, inhale. Arms to your sides, exhaling. Excellent. Let's take the left foot in front of the right foot. So we're crossing the ankles, squeezing the legs together. Interlace the fingers, press the palms overhead. So the legs hug in. The inner thighs move back to deepen and lengthen the hip creases. The buttocks flesh drops to help draw in below the navel. Press and reach up, inhaling. And then exhale, leaning to the left. So hugging the legs, grounding, leaning to the left. Pressing up with the arms. Take another exhale. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Exhale, uncross the feet, arms down. Let's cross the right ankle in front of the left. Interlace the fingers, press the palms up. Inhaling. Hugging in, reaching up, breathing in, and then leaning to the right as you exhale. So this is a little funny, but explore this. Your front ribs, if you can imagine your front ribs dropping down as your hip creases deepen and lengthen, broadening the back. Take another exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, arms down, feet together, samastitihi. Good. Let's do a couple rounds of our modified sun salutation A. Inhale, reaching up, palms touch, looking up. Exhale, bow forward over the legs all the way. Inhale, lengthen and look up. Exhale, fingertips down, right foot back. Touch the right knee down. Inhale, broaden the chest, sink the hips. Exhale, lift the right knee, push the left foot back. One-legged plank. Inhale here. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Full deep breath, heavy head, light belly, and downward facing dog. Let's take an inhale, press, lift, and reach the right leg up and back. And then exhale, bring the right foot between the hands up on the left toes. Maybe touch the left knee down. Sink the hips, broaden the chest. Inhaling. Exhale, step forward and fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen, come halfway up. Exhale, bow forward again all the way. Inhale, rise, lift the arms and look up. Exhale, arms to your sides. Again, inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bow, just coming back to the breath. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fingertips down, left foot back. You might choose to touch the knee down, sink the hips, broaden the chest. Inhaling. Exhale, step to one-legged plank. Take an inhale, one-legged plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Full deep breath. Right away, let the head come down. Let the belly lift up and contact the breath. Listening deeply, abiding in this moment. Let's take an inhale, press, lift, and reach the left leg up and back, reaching it up. And then bring the left foot forward, exhaling. Maybe sink the hips, touch the right knee down, broaden the chest, inhaling. Exhale, step the right foot forward, bow over the legs. Come halfway up, breathing and lengthening. Exhale, bow all the way down. Inhale, rise, lift the arms and look up. Exhale, bring the arms to your sides. One round, standard sun salutation A. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, bow forward. One breath at a time. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, step to chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. About 5 full deep breaths here, so just pause and breathe. 1, 2, 3, breathing with sound. 4, and 5. Let's bring the feet forward, come halfway up as you breathe in. Exhale, bow all the way down. Stand up and lift the arms, inhaling. And just bring your arms down, exhaling. We're going to do 2 rounds of a kind of modified version of Sun Salutation B. We'll start with Utkatasana. Bend the knees, lift the arms, inhaling. Exhaling, folding over the legs. Just take your time, enjoy your breaths. Come halfway up, inhaling. Exhale, let's move to chaturanga or plank. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Inhale, bring the right foot forward between the hands. Exhale, drop the left foot. Let's rise all the way up into warrior one as we inhale. Exhale, stay here. So again, this is kind of weird to imagine and subtle, but if you can imagine your front ribs dropping as you deepen and lengthen the hip creases, explore that. Take another inhale. Exhale, arms reach straight out to the sides, and then wrap the right arm under the left arm. Either give yourself a hug or wrap right fingertips to left palm. Reach into the left foot, press the elbows up, maybe lean back. So you have that wrapping of the arms, maybe leaning back, opening. Take another exhale. And then release the arms and reach up, inhaling. Exhale, hands to the floor. You can take another vinyasa with chaturanga or just step back to downward facing dog. Up to you, just breathing. From downward dog, let's inhale, step the left foot between the hands. Exhale, drop the right foot 45. Inhale, rise all the way up, warrior one. Exhale, pause. So there's hip creases deepening, front ribs dropping. Buttocks flesh dropping, low belly lifting. Take another inhale, exhale, arms wide. Wrap the left arm under the right, either give yourself a hug or wrap the arms, reach into the right foot, press the elbows forward, lift up, inhale, maybe leaning back. Let's stay for another full breath, breathing with sound if you can. Next time you inhale, release the arms and reach up. Exhale, hands down, step to chaturanga, or maybe just downward facing dog. Inhale, maybe up dog. Exhale, down dog. Bow the head, reach through the arms, and breathe. Listening and breathing with sound. One more exhale. Feet to the hands, hug the legs in, lengthen, inhale. Exhale, bow all the way. Bend the knees, lift the arms, inhaling Utkatasana. And back into standing, exhale. We're gonna do one more version of this. Start again with knees bending, arms lifting, inhaling. Good, Utkatasana. Exhaling, bow forward. Inhale, lengthening, looking up. Exhale, maybe chaturanga, or could just be high plank. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Inhale again, right foot forward. Exhale, drop the left foot. Use your legs as you inhale to rise and lift the arms. And then exhale, hands behind your back. Interlace your fingers. So you reach into that left foot. Draw the front ribs in. Draw in below the navel. Take an inhale. Maybe you exhale, bow on the inside of your right leg. All the way, breathing here. Inhaling and exhaling. Feeling your feet on the ground, drawing in below the navel. One more exhale. As you inhale, you might rise and lift the arms overhead. And then exhale, you can step to chaturanga or plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. One more time, other side. Inhale, left foot forward. Exhale, drop the right foot. Inhale from your strong legs, rise and reach up. Exhale, bring the hands behind the back. Draw the front ribs in, reach into the right foot, broaden the collarbones. Exhale, maybe you choose to bow on the inside of the left leg. Breathing here. Strong legs, light lifted belly, breathing with sound. Let's take another full exhalation. And then inhale, rise all the way up, lift the arms. Exhale could be high plank or chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog. Exhaling, down dog. Full, deep, spacious breath. Breathing with sound and listening. So really, intention, motivation, it arises from the heart. So first we have to just make that connection, hold that space. Take another exhale. Feet to the hands, hugging and lengthening, looking up, inhale. Exhale, bow all the way down. Bend the knees, lift the arms, inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, arms to your sides, Samastiti. Good, let's just stand up nice and tall. Turn your palms forward, and then exhale, bend your elbows. So I have my elbows bent, palms are facing the ceiling. And I want to pretend like I'm holding something heavy in my hands. So when I hold something heavy in my hands with my arms like this, my biceps will naturally engage a little bit. And then I want to imagine, I'm going to make fists, so I can imagine I'm holding like a TheraBand. And I want to imagine pulling my hands apart and wrapping my upper arms in, like I'm stretching that TheraBand. And then I'm going to turn my palms forward with my fingertips pointed up, so my arms are in chaturanga position. Really broad collarbones, shoulder blades are firming onto the back. Draw the front ribs in and imagine I want to pull my hands, the heels of my hands down to the ground and get more lifted through the chest. This is just chaturanga, standing on your feet. Take an inhale. And then exhale, relax the arms. Let's inhale, lift the arms, look up, palms touch. Exhale, bow forward over the leg. Inhale, lengthen and look up. Exhale, we're gonna step to high plank. Take an inhale in high plank. Maybe exhale to chaturanga and hold it. See if you can imagine some of those same actions. Take another exhale here, and then inhale into up dog. Exhale, roll back into down dog. Bow the head, enjoy that reach and length through the arms. Let's take an inhale, press, lift, and reach the right leg up and back. Exhale, bend the right knee, roll the hip open. Inhale, stretch the leg back, knit the front ribs in, get more spacious in the back body. And then exhale, step the right foot to the outside of the right hand and touch the left knee down. You can also keep your left knee lifted here. So we're just gonna sink low on the inside of the right foot. So right foot is on the outside of the right hand. Maybe you bring your forearms down. You might even choose to untuck your toes and lift your knee with your toes untucked. So just a little bit deeper into this particular opening. See if you can imagine the hip creases deepening and lengthening, the front ribs dropping to the hip creases, and then that knitting together of the buttocks flesh, dropping it down and lifting below the navel. Take another full exhale here. Wherever you are, if your left toes are untucked, tuck the left toes. If your left knee is on the floor, see if you can lift it up. Left forearm stays down. We're gonna step the right foot back into forearm side plank and lift the right arm up and overhead. Take a full breath, grounding into the left elbow. And then as you exhale, come into forearm plank. Inhale, walk the feet in for dolphin pose, down dog on the forearms. Exhale here. Take a couple of breaths here. Grounding the elbows, broadening the back, lifting the belly. From here, we're gonna come back to downward facing dog, maybe one arm at a time or both arms simultaneously. Of course, you can always touch your knees down for support in that transition. Let's do the other side, left leg reaching up and back, inhaling, bending the knee, rolling the hip open, exhaling. Inhale, stretching it up, knitting the front ribs in, lengthening. Exhale, stepping the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Maybe you touch the right knee down gently. So we're gonna start coming down on the inside of that left foot. So this deep listening, feeling of the subtleties, this is where practice comes in, right? That discipline, that patience, that steadiness, that sweetness, right? Of showing up again and again, staying motivated somehow, right? So softening the hips by deepening and lengthening the hip creases, drawing the front ribs down to the hip creases, and then dropping the buttocks flesh, drawing in below the navel, softening the center chest. Take another full exhale. Of course, you might try untucking the toes and even lifting the knee as your hips sink on the lifting the right knee. And then let's touch that down. If it's lifted, tuck the right toes. Lift the right knee. Right forearm stays on the ground. Left foot steps back for forearm side plank on the other side. Maybe lifting the hips, reaching the left arm overhead. Take a full breath, inhaling, and then exhale back to forearm plank. Inhale, walk the feet in. Exhale, bow the head. Take a few breaths in dolphin. Maybe child's pose is better. Right, just really reconnecting. So sensing when we can listen, make space for an authentic, heartfelt intention. It's really can be what sustains us with practice. Take another full breath. So from here, we're gonna make our way to downward dog. Again, you can use the knees on the ground for support. You can lift one arm at a time or both arms at the same time. Let's inhale, roll over the hands into high plank. Chaturanga, exhale. We're gonna hold chaturanga. Hug the upper arms in, press with the hands. Imagine you wanna pull your hands towards your feet, draw your front ribs in, broaden your collarbones. One more exhale. Inhale, lift up, up dog, victorious breath in. Exhale, roll back, down dog. Just one more full breath here. Bring feet to the hands, hug the legs in, lengthen and look up. Exhale, bow over the legs, deep bow. Good, let's bend the knees. I like to zip my legs together here, bend the knees, lift the arms, inhaling. Good, let's exhale, sit back, bring the palms into the center chest. So we're in Utkatasana with the palms together. Even here, can you deepen the hip creases and actually drop the front ribs towards the hip creases? Drop the buttocks flesh, draw in below the navel, broaden the collarbones. Inhale here. Let's exhale, turn to the right. Maybe you just touch your elbow. Maybe you touch your forearm just for a twist. Sitting back, drawing in below navel, front ribs dropping with hip creases. Belly lifting, one more exhale. Inhale back to center, other side as you exhale. So hip creases are deepening and lengthening towards the wall behind you. Front ribs are also moving that same direction, if you can imagine it. Draw in below the navel, broaden the collarbones, one more exhale. Inhale back to center, and then just come into standing as you exhale. Just standing up nice and tall. So we're gonna inhale, reach our arms wide. Exhale, you either grab your opposite elbows behind your back or bring your palms together behind your back. We're gonna take our left foot, take a step back for forward facing triangle. So just take a nice full breath. And I like to press the palms together, lift the chest up, maybe lean back. And then exhale, just start to bow. Take your time. We're gonna bow over that right leg. It can be slightly bent. You might explore turning the top of the right thigh out to help lift and deepen the hip crease as you drop the buttocks flesh and draw in below the navel. Take another full exhale, drawing front ribs towards hip creases. As you inhale, a little bend in the right knee, lengthen the spine and look up. As you exhale, for me, I'm gonna take my hands and interlace my fingers, palms on the right thigh. Press and lift the left leg for warrior three. Warrior three, lifting the inner thigh, pressing the hamstring up, broadening the collarbones. Take a steady gaze with your eyes and exhale. As you inhale, we're gonna draw the left knee up and in, stand up, lift the arms, and then exhale, cross the left thigh on top of the right thigh and bend the elbows like cactus arms. So we're coming into Garudasana, eagle pose. You might take your left arm, wrap it under your right arm, give yourself a hug, or wrap the arms, left fingertips to right palm. Inhale and exhale. So the legs squeeze together, the arms squeeze together. You can stay upright or curl. Up to you. Keep breathing. Keep listening. Take one more exhale. Releasing the arms and the legs as you inhale. And then foot down, arms down, exhaling. Let's just take a breath and pause before we do the other side. Pausing, listening, really inhabiting the moment, heartfully, mindfully. Let's take the arms and reach them out, inhaling. Spin the thumbs down, palms back, either grabbing, opposite elbows or palms together behind the back. This time, your right foot steps back. And even here on the lift, on the inhalation, front ribs are dropping towards hip creases. The back is broadening, the chest is broadening, and that's part of what helps you get the space to lift and lean back. Exhaling, tipping over the left leg. Take your time. It's okay to bend the knee, It's okay to explore turning the top of the leg out a tiny bit to deepen the hip crease, to move the front ribs that direction, to drop the buttocks flesh, draw in below navel. Take another full exhale here. And then a little bend in that left knee as you inhale. Take a steady gaze with your eyes coming halfway up. I like to interlace my fingers on my left thigh and press and lift the right leg on the inhale. Pause, exhaling. Press up with the hamstring, lift the inner thigh. So let the attunement to the subtle sensations, sounds, movements be part of this gesture of listening, of connecting deeply. Take another full exhale here, and then we'll rise on the inhale, arms lift, right knee lifts up, and exhale, right thigh on top, and bend the elbows. Wrap the right arm under for either a hug or right fingertips to left palm. Inhale and exhale, sitting back. Breathing here, listening. You might include that wrapping of the elbows over the knees, you might not. Another full exhalation. Let's use an inhale to rise and lift the arms and reach up. Good. Exhale, feet together, arms down. Let's take an inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale, bow over the legs. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, step to chaturanga or plank. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Take a full breath, just breathing in downward dog. Exploring the subtleties here. So for some of us, this is a familiar pose. We can explore subtlety. If touching your knees down would be helpful, do that. So if you can feel or imagine the upper arms hugging together so the armpits can deepen and lengthen. And then the front ribs move towards the hip creases as the hip creases get deeper and longer. And then as the hip creases get deeper and longer and the front ribs move in that direction, reach more through the arms, drop the buttocks flesh and draw in below the navel. Take a couple breaths with that, just exploring it. So there is a kind of balanced centerpiece or center place with that, but it takes practice, dedication, discipline. Take another full breath, inhaling. Let's touch the knees down, exhaling, tabletop. Inhale here, exhale, child's pose, just for a few breaths. Maybe stacking your forearms or your hands, bowing your head, and breathing. Just listening. Just showing up in the present moment, making that connection, softening. So from here, we're going to rise onto our hands and knees. I'm going to try to take my hands apart so you can see. We're going to take the right thigh in front of the left thigh and then move the shins apart so that you can start to sit down in between the feet. So I have my right thigh folded over my left thigh. And then I'm sitting down for Gomukhasana, cow face pose. I'm gonna reach my left arm up, inhaling, spin my left pinky in towards my head and bend my left elbow, kind of reaching down in between the shoulder blades. Right arm outstretched, inhaling, spin the thumb down the palm back, bend the elbow. You might grab your shirt or clasp your hands. Let's just breathe, and to whatever extent you're able to, touch into the subtleties. So if you can imagine your front ribs dropping towards your hip creases as they deepen and lengthen. And then as the hip creases deepen and lengthen and the front ribs drop the buttocks flesh and draw in below the navel, reach up through the left elbow. Take another full exhale here. And then inhale, outstretch the arms to the side. Exhale, roll forward onto your hands and knees. So knees are crossed. One way you can exit this is tuck your toes, lift your hips up with your legs crossed, walk your hands to the left, spin your feet. So you're just pivoting, pivoting, pivoting all the way around till you come back to the top with your left thigh in front of your right thigh. And then you bend your knees and fold back down. Alternatively, you're in tabletop and you take the left thigh in front of the right thigh, move the shins apart, and then sit down in between the shins. Right arm up, inhaling. Spin the pinky in towards your head, bend the elbow, exhaling. Left arm out to the left, inhaling. Spin the thumb down, palm back, bend the elbow, exhaling. Clasp the hands, hug the upper arm in, reach up with the right elbow as you drop the front ribs down and deepen the hip creases. Drop the buttocks flush, draw in below the navel, get longer through the crown and the right elbow. Take another full exhalation. Good. Let's take one more breath. Just sensing, feeling, contacting the present moment deeply and with care. Let this really be the deepest way of honoring your intention. That thirst to live mindfully and heartfully in each moment. Let's inhale, release the arms. Exhale, roll forward onto the hands and knees. Uncross the legs. And in tabletop, just pause. You might like to lift into downward facing dog for a moment. Bow your head and breathe. So we've been kind of doing some preparation for Bakasana, the way we've been opening the hips and opening the back. So from downward dog, or maybe you're in child's pose or tabletop, let's walk the feet forward so they're between the hands. So I have kind of a particular way that I enjoy practicing Bakasana right now. It's definitely not the only way. But if you can have your feet together and your hands as wide as your shoulders on your yoga mat, you can lift up onto your toes, take your knees apart, wrap your knees on your upper arms and squeeze together. Inhale, roll forward, pressing into your hands. Maybe you exhale and squeeze your heels towards your bottom and lift up and hover. Breathing. Come back to the breath. Take another exhale. You might inhale, shoot your feet back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. You might just step your feet back. Take a full breath. You can repeat Bakasana or rest in child's pose. So if you're repeating, and it doesn't mean you have to go all the way back into it, I'm going to talk us through one more round, but it's optional. If you're in dog pose or child's pose, bring your feet towards your hands, feet all the way together, hands shoulder distance apart. Open the knees as you bend them and look forward. Grab the upper arms with the knees and squeeze as you press into your hands and shift your weight forward. Inhale, maybe you squeeze the heels up and in as you exhale. Take some breath here. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, last time, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Full breath, heavy head. Exhale all the way. Let's touch the knees down. Child's pose. Bow your head and breathe. Just contacting the present moment. Noticing the sound, sensation, movement. From here, rising into child's pose. or I'm sorry, rising into tabletop. Let's take the right arm, reach it out to the right, and then thread the needle. Drop the right shoulder to the floor, right side of the head to the floor. You might press into your left fingertips. You might wrap your left arm around behind your back. A breath or two here. Hips in the air, head down, just breathing. Let's take another full exhale. So when you touch intention, right? When you enter the present moment, sense what matters to you, or at least listen deeply. Can you be responsive? Really responding in a way that feels useful to you, that seems like it's honoring that intention. The most important thing. Let's release the left hand, press it down, reach the right arm out. And then both hands on the ground, exhale. Other side, left arm out, inhaling. Dropping left shoulder to the floor, left side of the head to the floor, exhaling. Pressing into right fingertips, inhaling and exhaling, breathing in this twist for a moment. Again, noticing sound, sensation, movement. Just a gesture of connection and listening. Let's take one more full exhale. And then rise all the way back up. And both hands down, exhaling. Let's move our legs to the side. Lie down on our back. So lying down on your back. Just roll all the way down. Let's come into a constructive rest position for a moment. So feet wide and knees together. Again, it might be a hand on the belly and a hand on the heart. Just pausing. Just really receiving that dense, supportive quality of the earth for a moment. We're going to do our bridge pose 3 more times. So we'll bring the feet now more in line with the sitting bones. And then have your arms along your sides. Take an exhalation and see if you can feel into the subtleties. So maybe you can feel those front ribs dropping down towards those hip creases as they deepen and lengthen. It's a really kind of a strange thing to feel. But the front ribs are dropping with the hip creases as they deepen and lengthen. The buttocks flesh or the sitting bones knit together, draw in below the navel without flattening the lower back. As you inhale, use the heels pressing down and pulling towards your bottom to lift your hips up into bridge. And then explore this. You might choose to interlace your fingers under you and press down with your arms and breathe in Setu Bandhasana. Opening the chest without flaring the ribs, without losing that connection to the midline, if you can imagine. Dropping the front ribs with the hip creases, knitting together the pubic bone, tailbone, sitting bones. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. We're going to lift right back up again, inhaling. And pause, moving into it as you exhale. Maybe the fingers interlace, broadening the chest, breathing, listening. Just engaging sweetly, touching aliveness sweetly here. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. One more time, inhaling, lifting up. Last round here for a few breaths. Take another full inhale and exhale, lower down. Let's outstretch the legs onto the floor in front of you. Hug the legs together, interlace the fingers, reach the arms overhead. And exhale, bring the right knee into the chest, clasp hands onto the shin. A couple of breaths, sinking the knee to the armpit slowly, sweetly. with awareness. Right? Just fully inhabiting this moment, whatever's available to you right now. One more exhale. Inhale, reach the right leg out, arms reach away from the legs. Exhale, other side, draw the left knee in. Sinking the knee to the armpit. Reaching through the right leg, take another exhale. Inhale, both legs lengthening, arms reaching overhead. And then exhale, hugging the knees in, both knees. So pause and check in for a moment. So I want to give you a couple of minutes for an inverted posture of your choice. Anything goes. It could just be legs up the wall or draped on a chair. It could be headstand, shoulder stand, something you can do that feels safe to you right now, that you have enough support for. So making that decision, and if there's not an inversion that feels like the right one for you, or you simply don't want to do one today, just take this opportunity to start to wind down and rest, moving in the direction of Shavasana, even though we're not quite there yet. So again, we'll take about another couple of minutes for this. Whatever you choose, see if you can really come back to your breath, some level of subtle engagement with the breath. Listening deeply. Really sensing what the most important thing is in this moment. Really honoring that motivation, that intention for practice. This is not to rush you, but you might start to explore a counter pose for a minute or so. Maybe if you did headstand, that's child's pose. Maybe you're in a restorative inversion, like legs up the wall, and you just keep your legs there. And then eventually we'll just end up on our backs with our feet as wide as the yoga mat and the knees together for a moment. Just sensing how this practice nourishes you, just receiving that nourishment for a moment. The connection inside, the connection with others that are practicing here. The connection with the earth. And then let's bring the feet as wide as the mat and turn them away from each other. Right hand on belly, left arm overhead as you tip the knees to the right, just this open twist that we often do. Just breathing with it. Opening up that space on the left side, take another exhale. Inhale, rise to center. Switch your hands and switch your knees, exhaling and breathing. Just full breath in, full breath out. And let's take another full exhale. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, pause. So we're going to start to move towards our final resting position, Shavasana. So give yourself a moment for that. Give yourself a moment to make that transition, sensing what would be a comfortable way for you to rest right now. As you're settling into that, whatever that is right now, you might close your eyes. You might take some breaths and exhale through the mouth. And just rest for about 5 minutes or so. As you're settling and softening, you might just relinquish any attempt to control the breath. Sense that the nourishment of that earth connection, whatever part of your body is touching the ground, just noticing it, savoring it. And just abiding mindfully, heartfully in your own way. Receiving the nourishment of your practice, the fellowship of others. Receiving the nourishment of this heart connection. Your next few breaths, you might feel some movement in your fingers and toes. Maybe you reach your arms overhead and draw the knees into the chest. Maybe rolling to one side. Eventually rising and taking your seat one more time if you wish. You might take a soft gaze with the eyes or close the eyes. Pause for another moment together. Closing intention generally is a sincere wish that our practice might in some way be of benefit, not just to ourselves, but to others. So in this case, you might say that this practice of deep listening and responding from the heart, practice might allow us to be responsive, be in contact with that deepest intention in more moments for ourselves and also for others. So if that resonates for you, you can just rest with that for a moment. How can this practice flow through me in more moments? Namaste. Thank you so much.